If you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're trying to avoid living paycheck to paycheck, you've come to the right place. In this video, we're going to discuss how to budget. First off, the first thing of budgeting is that you got to be making enough money to cover all your expenses to live. If you don't have or make enough money to cover all your expenses, you need to cut off this video and figure out ways to create more income for yourself. If that's get a second job, third job, what have you, side gigs, side hustles, increase, we're trying to ask for a different position in your company, maybe a different type of role or something in that respect. Because if you're not making enough money, then you can't budget. So granted, let's say you are making enough money. The first thing you got to do is realize how much money you're making each week or each month. You probably know that. The second thing to realize is that how much are you spending each month? You got to write down every single expense that you've spent in the last 30 days. Go to your bank account, download the PDF statement, and look at every single transaction and categorize all these transactions. So you got food, which is a big expense. Rent or mortgage, another big expense. You have savings, another, well, it's kind of a big expense. You have, medical, health. Every single expense need to be allocated in different buckets. Okay, once you have this, now we can really start to figure out what it is you're budgeting for. The main thing though is that you're not just budgeting for your health, just to budget, right? You want to budget for a specific goal or a specific agenda. And the best way to do this is to figure out what your goal is for the year. For instance, my goal this year is to increase my credit score, right? The way to increase my credit score, I have to pay down credit card debt. Right now, I have about $7,000 of credit card debt. Now, I can pay it all off now, or I can allocate money each week in a more aggressive way to pay down my credit cards. Now, but I have a restrained amount of money. I don't have an unlimited amount of money that I make each week, right? So I have to figure out what trade-offs am I willing to make in my budget to attain the goal to decreasing my credit card debt, so therefore I can increase my credit score. Now, when you think about this, it allows me to really think of my spending habits, my social activities as well. Because let's say I like to go out and have drinks and dinner. If I'm going out 2-3 times a week, I will have to minimize that to maybe once a week, or maybe start eating in each week, or maybe go out every other week. Just by doing that, I'll have more income to be able to, I would have saved more income to be able to pay down my credit card debt. So you gotta think about your goals, and you gotta realistically have trade-offs in your budget to be able to achieve those goals. Let's say if your goal is to buy a car and the car costs $10,000, right? And let's say you are spending money on clothes. Let's say you like to buy yourself clothes. You may have to stop buying yourself clothes in order to be able to save more money for this car. Let's say you want to buy a laptop. A laptop is $2,000. You're going to have to make trade-offs in your budget to be able to buy the laptop. So the moral of the story here is to figure out what your goal is and align your budget in a way that's going to help you achieve that goal. The other big component here is that I'm not saying don't have fun. I'm not saying don't go out. I'm not saying you can't spend your money, going to a museum or buying yourself a nice lunch. Budget it out. Know exactly how much money you will spend each day on these type of items. Because by knowing that, it allows you to have confidence in the way you move in life. And it also allows you to know that if you continue down this path, you're going to achieve the goal that you want. But by not knowing that, it puts you in a mindset where you can't grow. Okay? So you got to be out there achieving goals. And the number one way to do that is to have a budget. Until the next time, take care.